Now, although we're up here on the stage and the lights are bright, we're definitely hoping to be able to have kind of a candid discussion and chat with you guys about why video is really cool, and also be able to answer some of your questions, because I mean, a lot of the stuff that stops people from starting is this list of questions in their head. And we think it can be a lot simpler than that for the start, and that's where most people get caught up. But then also some of you guys who are doing more advanced stuff. There's probably even people in this room that are maybe even going beyond some of the stuff that Cable and I have done on online video. And so if you want to be able to ask some of those questions about the more advanced stuff as well, we'll definitely be addressing some of that.
Yeah, and we do want this to be really interactive, so if you have questions, we'll take questions after like each little section we'll do. We don't wait till the very end. We do have a mic, so we use a mic for that, and if we can have a ConvertKit employee or something help be the runner on the mic. But a few start-off questions just to get a feel for all of you and where you're at. How many of you currently make videos? Okay, hands down. How many of you have never made a video but want to? Okay, so a decent like split of that.
How many are making videos and having a hard time being consistent with it?
Or have done a couple.
Oh, I've done a couple. Okay, right, that's very helpful.
And then what about what kind of videos you guys are making? How about like educational or course content? Okay, how about strictly just like fun or documentary style or, okay, so it's mainly educational.
Where would food videos fall into?
Food, a little bit of both maybe. Any other categories I didn't cover?
How about fun education?
Fun educational, I
Good
like
luck.
it.
Good luck with that, sir. Okay, helps us get a feel for where you guys are at. And like I said, we'll take a lot of questions as well.
Yeah, totally. Just throw up your hand at any point, seriously. So to start, so my name is Levi, and in my company, what I do is I produce adventure documentaries as kind of our sole focus. So we create original content, branded content. That's like, you know, just extreme sports documentaries about people doing interesting things. But then on the side, the way that I've kind of built an audience to even watch those films in the first place and kind of get my business going and find clients and things like that is through actually just doing video online through YouTube and things like that, and also on Instagram in the stories area of Instagram. I'm a big fan of stories. But it's created a huge opportunity for me, and I've had to step back the way I think about doing video, especially coming at it from a filmmaking perspective. It took me years to start doing more casual video for audience building because I completely overthought how complicated it needed to be. But we're in a stage right now where we're able to use video in a lot more of the way that you might use Facebook to do an update on your fan page or something like that. If you've got an opportunity to really set apart those updates or the progress that you're doing in your business or the exciting thing that's going on in the space that you're working, you get to use video and completely set it apart, and people digest that in a different way than they would like a film. And so there's this like new language of visual communication that's been developing across the past decade. And right now we're at the point where it's really accessible for everyone, especially because of what's all in your pockets and what you can do immediately with the tools you have.
Yeah, and that even is something that I struggle a lot with because I spend most of my time making videos for clients.
Right.
And so all of those are typically really, really polished things, like filming this event. We want to be really polished, high quality. The I'm a Blogger series that myself and Tim, who is the guy sitting over on that side of the room, we put those together with Barrett as well. So I struggle with the raw, more vlog style video stuff as well. So it's something I struggle with, and we kind of have to do a little bit of both nowadays to get your point across, to share videos in different styles and formats. So it might depend on what your business does or where you're at, whether that video is super polished or it's more of a vlog style and a little more raw.
Right, yeah, people expect different video formats out of like a course. Like they're gonna expect a different style. Like in a course, it's more acceptable sometimes to be like doing a voiceover and moving through some slides and then having a shot from, it can be as basic as your laptop just facing yourself. I don't know, how many of you seen like the really early video courses that Nathan Barry did? Have you guys ever seen some of those? Yeah, so okay, a few. The production quality, I mean, he just took a camera, pointed it to himself and just self-talked to it. And so that's, with courses, there's a bit of a different, there's different languages that are happening in there. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, just doing I don't know where I'm going with that train of thought, but.
I mean, just that the content is still more important than the quality, but the quality can bring someone else to a level of not focusing on like what the visual part is.
Right.
if it immediately looks and sounds good, then they can jump right into what you're saying versus those things can like hold someone back from really digesting it, as well as if someone's paying for something like a course, they expect a higher quality as well.
So why is video powerful, Caleb?
I think video is extremely powerful because it is a medium that is as close online as being in person with someone. So how many of you blog? Okay, how many of you podcast? And then how many of you, about half of you did video, you said. So when you meet a blogger in person, you don't really get a feel for their personality, their juxtaposition about how they act or talk, or like some people write extremely different and not scientific like James does, but James also talks exactly the way he writes. It's like very prepared and scientific and planned and stuff, but I don't talk the same way that I write, but I make videos in very similar style to the way that I talk. So you get that connection with the person. And also, if you've seen someone on video before, how many of you have seen Levi or I on a video before? Some. You feel like you know us a little bit more, and then when you meet in person, the connection is just there. And it helps add personality to a more stale business, or a business with a bunch of people that has a brand name. So the people behind ConvertKit, if they're on video, you'll more likely like know and trust the people when you get a support email from them. And so I think video is extremely powerful.
Yeah, and just like kind of analyze your own behavior and some of the content that you've been digesting even in the past year. And for me, I mean, when you get to listen to a podcast, you start to really feel like you, especially if it's a conversational podcast, you get to feel like you're getting to know these people. But then if you've like seen a video of them, then it like kind of like hits you in a wave where you realize there's this whole other level of how they're communicating. And some of the podcasts that I've listened to for even years, where I've like finally seen them on video, it kind of takes me a moment because I realized I was starting to build a visual representation of how that person behaved. But when you can pair those two together, it really does set apart essentially what it's really powerful for is trust. And that's where there's kind of this diminishing return for how much effort you want to put into the video content that you're making. But if you're just putting in that first little bit, and if you just set yourself apart from everyone else by just having some video out there that's going out semi-regularly, and we'll kind of talk about the different ways you can do that. But that's just going to set you apart because it gives a depth to your presence, and we sometimes don't like to do that because we worry what people will think or feel. But you don't need to build an audience of hundreds of thousands of people or even tens of thousands to really start to see that trust benefit start to happen there. And I know the people that I've purchased courses from or material from or gone to their events or conferences have often been people where I can like visualize what they look like when they're talking, which seems kind of weird, but people that have shared on Instagram stories where you can like, oh yeah, I kind of like get what that person's about.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest opportunities is that there's just a bigger barrier to entry to do video, so less people are going to do it, which means there's less competition, but it's also just more consumable now than it's ever been, and I can't even fathom the ways that we might consume video in the future, or VR, or anything like that. I don't even dabble in that stuff right now, but the fact that you have the internet speeds, you have a screen in your pocket, all those types of things mean that video is just on the rise in general, but also less people are going to do that than hiring someone in another country to like spit out SEO blog posts or whatever for your site. So there's just a different barrier to it, and even people that make it, there's a huge gap in what's a good video and what's a bad video. So I think that if you put the time and energy into it, you'll get the return that you want.
Yeah. And the opportunity there is massive. Like last time you had a question about how to do something, you probably went to Google, and there's a really good chance that you clicked on a video result for a large portion of those questions that you might ask. So it's cool seeing that a lot of you guys were hoping to make education-related videos, because if you haven't been already creating videos that are answering people's questions, like people use YouTube as like a how-to search engine. They go there constantly. People renovate their entire basements of their houses with YouTube, which is crazy, which means all the specific spaces that you guys operate, this is an amazing opportunity to actually offer really specific answers to questions. Often as a filmmaker, when I have a question and I go to YouTube for an answer, it's a really specific question. I'm not asking like, how does one become a filmmaker? I don't go to YouTube with that right now at this stage of my life, but I'm going there with, okay, how do I change the opacity on the second video layer to change the blending mode for that thing?
I've got a question.
Here, let's mic you up. Is that okay?
Sure.
I would throw it, but it's not mine. Thank you.
I'll just stand right here so y'all can
Right.
look at me too. When I blog, I write a blog post,
Right.
and it's really straightforward. And then to make it more entertaining to the readers, and I'll go back through and I'll add exclamation points and bold things and italicize and add a joke here or there. For somebody that has no experience doing any kind of videos,
Right.
what are some easy ways to make it more entertaining to keep people's eyeballs on the screen?
Yeah.
Can we tackle that when we start talking about the video format and a structure for doing videos? Is that okay?
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But to noodle on it, you make a video 3 times. You make it when you plan it, when you shoot it, and when you edit it.
Right.
So movies change, television shows change in all of those phases. And so that is ways you can interject.
Just like a blog post.
Yeah. You
And
can interject fun and jokes and things during that.
Yeah, and I think coming back to, I think a mistake that a lot of people make when they're starting is they make stuff that they wouldn't actually like to watch. Like, what gives, right? Like, when you go to YouTube, you don't watch someone just sit there just rambling on about passion. Like, you don't do that. Like, so especially in the answering specific question space, like, make stuff that you've actually looked for yourself before. And then when you're delivering the format, actually deliver it in a way that you would like to consume it. Like, one of my favorite things with tutorials is to get to the point in like the first 30 seconds. And people will leave comments and be like, thank you for like not having a 3-minute intro. Because filmmakers are the worst for that. They'll do the screencast tutorial, it's 20 minutes long, and it's like talking about 2 things. And so you've got to like skip through and try to find it, because people just like want to get to the answer fast.
Like, honestly, YouTube algorithm stuff, it like hurts like making a to-the-point video, because YouTube now rewards you on watch time,
Right.
as well as a bunch of other things. So if you make a 16-minute video about one thing and it's in like the 12th minute, like they're rewarding that, unfortunately.
Well, unless people are just skipping ahead and skipping a large section.
Right, but are you really helping your customer or the person watching the best? No.
Right.
But you can still make the 10-minute version, but like you're saying, get to the point and then be like, okay, you're still here, and then they keep going.
Yeah.
It's true though, because that's what people, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I skip ahead, I jump around, try to find the answer to something. And while we're on this like topic of how to make the videos, that's one thing I struggle with too, is like trying to make these big overarching videos.
Yeah.
When really each video should be an answer to like one question if it's educational, or if it's fun or entertaining, like try to have that video have one theme. And so that ties into how you're going to title it, how you're going to thumbnail it, how you're going to tag it so it ranks in search. My most popular videos are very specific videos about a piece of equipment or comparing 2 things that, you know, my audience, most of them probably don't care, but over a span of 2 or 3 years, there's enough search traffic to them that helps grow my audience, and they kind of compound. So occasionally you might have a video that's like doesn't have a point or isn't about a specific thing, but I try to make mine very specific.
Yeah, so that's what we recommend as far as if you want to like start doing more video right away. You've done maybe 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or 4 on YouTube or something like that about teaching something. Like, honestly, some of the like best videos to make for your business at the start is those videos that are answering people's questions specifically, and make a lot of them and make them in a format where as you watch them you go, okay, that was kind of boring. How can I do that better again? And if something's starting to resonate, you'll start to see patterns of, hey, there's actually a comment on this video where someone says thank you, and then take note of that in your head and go, okay, maybe I should do something else with this. For me, I did probably half a dozen to a dozen kind of these like educational videos of very specific things that I had searched for, and then I got to see patterns start to emerge in that, and then start to double down and do more. People often think now the best way to like start on YouTube is to vlog, and unless you've got like a massive audience that exists outside of YouTube, there's a really good chance that's actually not a good thing to do. And the reason for that is people aren't going to find it, and they aren't going to care when they find it. And so when you start to help people and you actually like give them something that's valuable, and they kind of have, it really feels like for them they've had this moment with you, like this breakthrough, especially if you've like taught them this technique for editing that saves them half the time. So they feel like they've had this really valuable exchange with you. Then they actually start to care more about what you're doing. And then you've kind of earned the right to start doing more lifestyle stuff where you're taking them in on the process of what you're doing. And so for me, that's where I started to incorporate some of the more like, hey, I'm going to take you along behind the scenes on one of these films I'm working on, and I've earned the right for your attention, and you now care because you've learned something helpful from me. And we're talking like, if a video got 50,000 views, that's a tutorial, then there's maybe going to be a very small bracket of those people that something in that tutorial stood out to them, maybe the way you presented, maybe your kind of vibe or something like that. Maybe when they run into another one of your tutorial videos and they're like, hey, this guy's now helped me twice, maybe I should stick around. And then that's sometimes when people might, if you're doing stuff on YouTube, then they'll subscribe or do something like that. But some of the platforms to start with right away, if you're wanting to like build up your confidence on video, we've got some really great ones on Instagram and Snapchat. I've kind of moved away from Snapchat entirely, but on Instagram, especially on stories, you've got an opportunity there to think, how could I create an experience across 3 or 5 like 15-second clips that would add value to someone as they're going through their feed? And think about how you kind of digest the material on your stories feed. If you just run up to a person's face that's just like talking straight to the camera, you're probably doing that thing where you like swipe right past. And so you want to be able to start to think, how can I make this interesting? Because you want to be able to capture someone's attention and also give them something valuable in this little moment. And this can be something as small as like, I've been following people that do like, they craft leather goods. And so the first like picture that they're adding to their story for that day, or it's like maybe this little like moving boomerang moment of like leather goods kind of like coming down from the thing and like pull their leather out, and then they'll do another shot of them like cutting the leather, and then they'll have a picture with like a little description of what they're doing, and then maybe at the end of these like sequences of several little moments, they'll have a thing where they're like, hey, yeah, I just like crafted this thing. This is some of my thought process behind it. Cool. And that's a great way to start building up that confidence of delivering content to a camera, because it's really odd. But you need to remember that you're doing one-on-one interaction with someone when you're doing video. That's kind of like really changed the way that I've approached pretty much everything about how I'm addressing the camera. Is you're basically doing a FaceTime call with someone, because people don't sit down in groups of like 5 to 10 and watch videos together.
Unless you're here.
Unless you're here. So it's like kind of odd to actually address people as, hey, you guys. Like that's actually kind of an odd thing, unless you've got like kind of a tribe of people and that's the way you like address your tribe.
Do you say, hey friend or hey friends when you start your video?
I usually say, yo friends, or yo friend.
So really you might actually make that
Yeah,
single.
so I definitely, and sometimes it's weird when you're watching someone and they're addressing people as like a group, because you're sitting there.
Fam.
Yeah, hey fam, that's not my, or squad. I'm not really about the whole squad game. But that's shifted for me, especially, so there's been these moments where I'm like trying to take someone behind the scenes on a shoot. And so I'm trying to do the vlogging thing, and I've got this camera out, and I'm like walking around the city feeling like a loser. And like
You're from Canada. What do you call people that are losers in Canada?
Posers.
Yeah, there you go.
And it feels like every eyeball on the street's on you, and it just feels uncomfortable. And I went, if I just told myself I'm making a video for my cousin, and I'm on this trip, and I like want to take my cousin along on this trip, and this is like one of these moments where it's like a once in a lifetime thing, and like, why would I worry what, that lady walking across the street who isn't even like aware that I'm doing this thing, like why would I worry that she thinks I'm trying to be internet famous? Like, why do I care? That's kind of shifted the way that I treat making videos, like especially when I'm out and about. That's like really helped me, because it often flares up this like insecurity or imposter syndrome where you're like, oh, this person thinks I'm just trying to be like a famous vlogger, and like I don't want to be that, and I'm worried about what they're thinking. And so even as you like address the camera in the way that you deliver your material, thinking very specifically that one person is going to be watching this, that changes the tone. Like we're talking to a group of people here, but like the best way to connect with someone is, as if you're just having a conversation with them. And there's obviously different styles in the way that you deliver content on video, so you don't expect this like really candid conversational style sometimes, especially in course videos or things like that. But if you're trying to like be natural, and if you watch videos you've made before and you're like, man, I sound like such a presenty dork. I like don't like the way I'm coming across, and you're just like not happy with it. That's like a huge recommendation I have, is to like take a moment as you're recording the video and just remember, this is for one person. And like you truly genuinely want to just like help that one person.
I choose the person too.
Yeah.
Like I know people that put pictures of people in their audience behind their camera or like attached to the lens or something like that. That would be one way. Go ahead. Here, oh, Mike.
Where'd it go?
You're closer.
Right over here.
So I'm enjoying what you're saying, and the question that pops up is, right now what I'm doing is mostly video tutorials showing technical ways to set up things, set up ConvertKit.
Right.
And I'm wondering about this aspect of video blogging.
Right.
Why would somebody want to know what happened on my hike, or what did my kittens do? I mean, they're coming to my site for learning how to have a link trigger and whatnot. So how do I build that connection and trust in this context?
So I think this is similar to,
Great question, by the way.
Yeah. Similar to early days of Twitter or Instagram or anything like that, where they're like, why do people want to see what I'm eating? Or like stuff like that. But it's really just, it's like a format or a style to vlog, to like tell a story a certain way. And so you can watch a vlog about someone's travels or hiking or whatever, but you don't need to put that into your email funnel tutorial. You can use that style though, so you could have a quick montage of like you like opening your laptop and like getting stuff and logging into ConvertKit, and then it's like, then it goes into tutorial and you have someone's attention. You kind of have to earn it in those first few seconds if someone's never watched your videos before.
Right.
So that's, to me, vlogging is a style. I don't think it's what you should like do. I think you were getting at that, where it's like, no one here should start a vlog about like their life. It's like, unless you have a big following already, or you are extremely interesting, like it's not gonna work. Like I'm not interesting enough. I do the same thing every day. I sit in front of my computer and I edit videos. So like when I come here, I could vlog something. It's a little different. There's some texture, but at home I don't vlog. Like
Yeah, and I think what will add the biggest benefit if you do want to, because I do think peppering in occasionally some of those more lifestyle-related videos can add some of that depth to just like who you are online, and you earn the right for people to care by being helpful to them. And sometimes it will be surprising what people are interested in. Stuff as simple as like, this is like where I do my work, and having a video about something like that. That's a great way to kind of tie in more like the documentary style content you can make about yourself. And that's kind of the way that I've been thinking about it, is like you're making like little micro doc pieces of content about real life stuff, and the format that's really popular is vlogs, but like that's kind of what you're doing. And so there does have to be a point, in a sense. Like maybe you can get away if you're entertaining enough talking to the camera, where it's just straight up interesting to hear and see you talk, and you can just be excitable and have a big enough presence to you. But for me, like some of the videos that have actually brought a lot of people into the adventure filmmaking stuff I'm doing is actually a video I made documenting the converting of a van that I travel and filmmake out of. That's actually the most viewed video on my channel. Actually, the top 5 most viewed videos on my filmmaking channel are about my van. So as a filmmaker, I've conflicted how I feel about that, where I've got
there's your niche.
There's my
talking
niche.
About. You're pioneering the van life. Yeah.
I'm the adventure filmmaking, living out of a van guy.
But you don't live in the van.
But I don't live
Sometimes.
in the van all the time. Yeah, I did when I was making my first film, and that I missed a huge opportunity there to actually document the real life of it, which is kind of a shame, because I was engaged to be married, and I was embarrassed about what my father-in-law to be would think about seeing me like live out of this van in Vancouver. So I like missed this massive opportunity, because I think now thinking back, if there was a filmmaker out there who was documenting his journey to making his first film, and he's going to talk you through the whole process of how he's like finding a place to live, how he's finding work to pay for it, how he's trying to get sponsors and failing at it, how he's trying to find a subject. If like someone like documented that process, I as a filmmaker would like eat that up. It doesn't matter. And so like I think being aware of what type of content you're consuming in your niche can help dictate this type of stuff that you make for other people. But then just like remembering that where you come at your perspective on life and your business and your personality, like there is inherent value in that. Now it might not be value to the masses in the like hundreds of thousands cents, but for the specific people that you're trying to build trust with, and maybe even just the smaller bracket of that, the people that are gonna buy your very premium $5,000 package of your course that has one-on-one consulting with you, they're most likely gonna buy into that because they trust you. And that's where, again, coming back to that trust component of what you can do with video, it's pretty key. Should we talk about practical stuff?
Yeah, I want to talk about live a little bit.
Right, totally.
So going from doing like Instagram or Snapchat stories or Facebook stories, every platform has everything now.
Yeah.
To me, the next easiest thing to get into if you're just getting started is to do live, whether that's Instagram or Periscope or Facebook or YouTube or wherever else you want to go live. That helps you get more comfortable as well, because there are actually people, hopefully there's at least one person watching on the other side and commenting back.
Right.
And it could be your mom, yeah, it could be my mom, I have no idea. So,
my dad is my biggest fan. He text messages me my subscriber updates before I'm even aware they happen. Like when I hit
He's like
10,000, he
10,000,
was pumped. Like, you guys, it's pretty hilarious, but keep going live.
just that with live, you realize there's an actual person there. And that is what we were getting at earlier of like, there's someone here. That really, really helps. So I think if you're not making any videos right now and you really want to, start with stories, start with some live, just kind of experiment and get used to it, because it will take a while, that's normal. But then definitely the real advantage, I think, is actually making a video that is standalone that will live for more than 24 hours.
Right. Yeah, some of the videos that rank the best and bring the most people kind of into my YouTube world are videos that I made. Some of those videos I made at the beginning that were tutorial videos like that have now, like, YouTube has recognized that they're helpful videos, and when people search for those questions, they get them. But one thing with live that's really handy is actually making the live video so that way people can watch it later. Sometimes those first live ones you want to get rid of. And so especially when you don't have the people flocking in those first 30 seconds, what's actually really helpful is to just treat it like you're recording a video for the first like minute and a half, sometimes even longer, until there's actually like someone that's popped up and might say anything. And because when someone goes back and watches that later, they'll like click play on that video, and the first like portion of the video is literally just a person's face like waiting for the name.
Okay, I think we're
They're just
live.
they're just like waiting for that one name, and they're like, so hey, someone's here, and they're like fired up, and that's great. But like, I mean, the cool thing about live, there's a girl named Amy, I'm forgetting her last name, but she does like probably 2 or 3 live videos a week that she treats them as if they're just a regular video she's making. And then partway into the video, then she starts taking questions from the people that are now showing up. So she'll do a full-on intro like, hey, I'm this person, this is what I do, thanks for tuning in. And she'll kind of pretend that people are there already. But that's a tip for live stuff.
Yeah, is that Amy Schmittauer? Or
That's the name.
Amy Schmittauer. I was just trying to think of who that was.
She's got a whole bunch of content on if you do want to start vlogging around your business or doing online video stuff, Amy Schmittauer.
Yeah, another person that I think mixes vlogging with educational stuff and more behind the scenes of what it's like to be a designer is actually a ConvertKit employee named Charlie. She has a channel called CharliMarieTV.
Right.
And if you watch someone's view count on a channel that doesn't only do vlogs, if they do vlogs and then other stuff, if you look at the view counts from videos, the vlogs are much lower. I'm sure yours are that way too, where it's like maybe 5 to 15% subscriber to view count for vlogs, and that is like a super fan level. So like people that really like you will watch those. So they're still valuable. And I had a call with a YouTube employee. If you reach like 10,000 subscribers, you get like assigned someone to have a call with.
Right.
And they were talking about how you have to make like different kinds of videos. And one of them is for super fans, and that would probably be like vlog related content. Some of them are just to attract new people, and that would be highly specific kind of search engine based things. And then there's the middle section where it's like for your current audience, like this is going to go well. So knowing those 3 categories is helpful. To think about like, who is this video for? Is it for my super fan? Is it for someone I'm trying to get to my channel? Or is it for like someone that's already in my audience?
Actually, to jump off of that, one thing I've noticed on YouTube is they do have, you get there, you can do like an intro for your YouTube channel.
Your trailer.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's like the next video that they can show. And YouTube has like 2 or 3 options. They will let you choose what the video is going to be that you want to show next, or there's the option of the most popular that you already want to show, and then I think there's like something else.
They'll recommend a video.
Exactly, yeah. So the challenge that I have is I have kind of a multitude of videos now. I think I have more than like 100 videos out there, and some of them are maybe more technical, some are more business oriented. Right. So I don't even know what the next video should be. I feel like in the video itself, when I create one, I know what the next one should be because I usually create a series. So it's like, oh, I should show the next in the series. But when that series is done, I don't know, should I take the engineers and show them a public speaking one? Should I leave it up to YouTube? That's where I'm like, I don't know what I should show next, or should I just leave it up to YouTube?
So for your channel trailer specifically, someone's only going to see that if they're not subscribed to your channel. Okay. So if I land on Levi's channel and I'm subscribed to him, I will never see that trailer. Are
you subscribed to me?
We'll talk about that later. Yes, I'm subscribed to your channel. So that trailer, its sole purpose is to introduce yourself to the person watching and try to get them to subscribe, which is really hard in one video. I do have a channel trailer that I have not updated, but I've made them for clients and stuff that we put a lot of work into taking clips from other videos and quickly explain in 60 to 90 seconds what the channel's about. Right. Try to have personality, jokes, things like that. And the sole goal of that video is just to get them to subscribe typically, or get them to watch maybe another video that's broad that might attract people. So that's what I would recommend, is just think of that one video maybe to recommend. As far as all the rest of your YouTube videos, you can have end cards now where a little circle of you pops up where you can have someone subscribe, or to have the end cards, you have to have at least one video, if not more. So if there's one that directly relates to the video I'm talking about, I will even, when I record the video, say like, watch this video and link to it. Or if there is nothing that's really related, you can select from the drop down to have YouTube suggest whatever that video should be. Because they'll choose a video on your channel that they have not watched that maybe is related to other things they've been searching. It's just algorithm and math stuff.
Okay.
And there's notes to be taken from people that do live webinars that are educational, because as they're doing those live webinars, they're like constantly kind of prepping you to like go somewhere else or get ready for buying something. And the mistake that I've made in videos is waiting till the end to like say that important thing that I want someone to do. Yeah. Because when you create a great video or something that provides someone value, you get an ask. Like you have an opportunity there to ask them to do something. And more than just remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Like there's an opportunity there, and using that in the last like minute of your video, most people, you can go in and you can see where the view drop off is, and on whatever video, like if they've dropped off, they're gone. Yeah. So you've missed that opportunity. So finding a way to like kind of naturally incorporate, like telling people what you're actually trying to share or get them to do earlier on in the video. So I've been trying to do this. I sell shirts and I sell Skype calls and things like that. And I've been trying to more naturally bring those up at earlier points in the video. And some of these like vlogger entertainer people's like hit it hard. And they like, it's kind of like tongue in cheek and it's like a joke. They're like, get the merch in the bio. And they're like 30 seconds into the video. And that's not me. And so I'm not going to do that. But like trying to bring in the stuff that you're actually, so like 2 minutes into a video that I think someone might end up at, I might be like, hey, by the way, like if you're wanting to learn how to do this filmmaking stuff, like I'm actually send out emails how to do this, so you can hop over there and find out more. But by the way, then you just keep going in your thing. So getting good at those like interjecting the kind of cells as you go along. Yeah. Because people learn pretty quick. They can identify super fast if it's a giving or a taking video. And they can sense from your personality if you're just trying to get stuff from them. Yeah. And so especially in those first 30 seconds of the video, those are like the most, like sometimes even the first 15. That's a really, really important and sacred space of the video. And if you've got like a 35-second animated intro happening in the first like 30 seconds, like you're missing a big opportunity there. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah.
Another thing is to look at the actual engagement graph on your videos, whether you're on YouTube or Wistia has really good ones as well, to look and see how long people are watching and where there are
That's
drop-offs.
painful, by the way. It's painful sometimes
Yeah.
to like look where people are dropping off. It's like,
Because there will be a gradual, I guess for you guys it's this way, there will be a gradual decline unless there's like more people watching. I've never seen a graph like that.
No.
There will be less people watching as it goes. They're like, hey, you gotta come see this. And the graph just, it doesn't work like that. So it'll decline, but you're really looking for cliffs. So you're looking for big drop-offs. Tim Schmoyer, who runs a YouTube channel to help people grow their YouTube channels, I've heard him tell a story of one of his clients. Anytime he said the word module, a little cliff. And so he quit saying the word module because it like made people leave his video. Because he'd be like, okay, let's go to the next module. And people go, oh, I just like, click to another video. So there's things within your video, but there's also the summary at the end. And if you can mask that you're doing a summary, that'll make people stay a little longer. Because if you're like, well, in summary, I just talked about this, and they're like, done. I mean, you even get it on stage at a conference like this. If someone like starts to wrap up, you're like, okay, where's my stuff? I'm ready to go. You know, you stop listening. So I don't think your video should just end abruptly, but there needs to be some like natural transition, I think.
but if you're finding you're able to make videos that people are watching and you're not getting from those people what you're hoping, like maybe you're hoping that your investment into video actually does something for your business, like you need to think about how to incorporate your asks, because you can incorporate them really well and people are okay with that, but you just got to fit it in a way where you're not saving it just at the end and you're not making it super obvious that it's the end thing, but you need to like often say with your words what you want someone to do. Just having it in the description is not often enough.
You've been
I
waiting.
have
Go
a
ahead.
question about platforms.
Right.
We put out at least an hour video live, which is then recorded, and it's about learning styles in the workplace or other entertaining topics like balance sheets and starting business plans.
Right.
Yeah, just an hour per
Give me
week.
more. I want more than an hour on balance
Well, we
sheets.
do an hour per week. We have about 100 hours a week that we put out. We have a private platform that we're using. What platform that you're talking about would be best? Would YouTube be best? Instagram, Twitter? I'm avoiding Snapchat.
Wherever your audience is
Yeah.
where you should be putting your videos. So if your audience comes to your website and uses a private player, or their paying customers behind a paywall and that's where they're going to watch it, then that's where you should put it. But
Well, we do put it there, and we get, at our live ones, we get about 10% of our paying audience attending and live, and then about 60% attending recordings. But I would like to put it out further into places where they actually go regularly by
is it
mistake.
you only want people that are paying you to watch it though?
No.
No. So you want it as like a marketing channel to,
Yes.
to draw people in.
Have you guys been building YouTube or Facebook already?
Not really.
Right.
I
So
mean,
which-
if you want public-facing videos and you want them to live for a while, YouTube is still the best place. If you have a private video that you want really good control of, or to be able to do pop-ups that like capture people's emails or have clickable like links and navigation to do other stuff, that's what I use Wistia for. And Facebook, I would use if you have an existing audience on there, but no one is really going to Facebook to search for a video on balance sheets, I'm sorry to say.
They will.
But they will go to YouTube. You know, they might go to YouTube or
and,
something like
and you
that.
said Wistia or
Wistia.
Wistia?
Yeah, I use Wistia for privately hosted videos. You can't really go to Wistia and search. It's more for like embedding them on your website or somewhere else and then getting really good analytics and stuff like that.
And how do you spell that?
Wistia.
Yes. Yeah, good.
Hey there. I would love to hear your these are the things you absolutely have to do to make your video go to the next level advice.
Right.
So equipment, lighting, whatever we can do to step it up?
Yeah, so we do have gear stuff planned for sure. We can talk about that in a minute. We have one more question over here. She had a question.
Here, I'll be the runner.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
And if we don't answer your question when we start talking gear here in a minute,
Oh, we will.
ask another one.
Yeah.
So mine is kind of a springboard off of his. I've been doing live video interviews for about 2 years.
Oh, wow, awesome.
And I've got a couple hundred in the vault that I started to put on YouTube, but I noticed that like while I get a high number of viewers on the live show, it's not really performing well on YouTube, so I kind of stopped doing that.
Right.
Is there a way, my marketing coach is saying you've got to get those videos out there, you've got all this content, but what I don't know is how do I maximize the title and the description?
What length are the live interviews?
45 minutes.
Yeah, so the best thing I would suggest to do, actually, Sean McCabe, he's speaking on writing, I think, later Sean's here. He does this already with his podcast. So he live streams it to a paid community, and then he'll take out highlight moments and make a great thumbnail for it and make a great title and then put those directly onto YouTube. And that's what I would recommend for you, because often if you just like upload the video straight to YouTube and it looks like just a generic live sort of thing, someone might not be interested in that. But if you can pull out a moment where there's like a specific piece of advice or a specific thing, and you can make an interesting title, and again, ask yourself, like, what would I click on? Because a lot of when you're creating these videos, a lot is won and lost in that moment when the person sees the thumbnail and sees the title. They're making a really important decision when they see those things. Is that for me? Am I interested?
And then you have to deliver it immediately.
Then you have to deliver on it
Yeah.
immediately. So pulling out little moments from those live streams is what I would do to start. Sometimes then people might be like, hey, where can I go see the full one? But then using those shorter snippets to point to the full ones might be a really great way to really capitalize on that. Because you've got a lot of, obviously, resource there to utilize.
And so what is the perfect length for that snippet?
The perfect which?
Length for the snippet.
Sean,
What's been working best for you, Sean?
like up to 5 minutes
Perfect.
or so?
Awesome.
And so
Thank you.
for that, you're like thinking, what's the goal of this video? The goal is to get them to go watch the whole thing. Some people and some YouTube channels do upload audio podcasts to YouTube because there's probably places in the world where that's the easiest way to consume the audio because they don't have a smartphone or they don't have a podcasting app or what have you. But if you made it for like audio first, like a conversation is audio first, then it's hard to repurpose that to a platform that people are like, there's nothing happening. It's just two people on Skype. It's not as interesting. So
Gotcha.
thinking about that.
Perfect. Thank you.
We have a couple more questions. We do want to get to gear stuff, and we're about 15 minutes left. Do you want to do that really quick, and then we'll do a quick Q&A?
Yeah, I'm really interested in this question about how to level up the video thing. And so before we even touch the cameras, I think continually coming back to what is interesting and what are people actually interested in is really, really important. And it's super easy to forget that when you get in the loop of making videos. You're just like, yeah, I'm a guy who makes videos or a woman that makes videos and puts them online.
Yeah.
And you forget that someone actually has to find this interesting. And so there's really great ways to make videos interesting on their own if the content isn't amazing. The content always has to be king with video. That is what people are there for. But a way that you can keep people interested and actually digesting the content is making sure that the video has forward momentum, that it's actually going somewhere. And you can do this a lot of ways, and there's a lot of storytelling techniques, but actually making sure that things are happening in progression. And so you can do this visually by having the images they're seeing change, so it's not just your face, but actually setting up this idea of problems or conflicts that are, as the viewer's watching, they're going oh, what is the answer to this problem that we're about to try solve? Yeah. And so you're trying to salt the palate a little bit and then feed it later. And you're trying to continually open up these loops so that way someone's continually being interested. And this is an art form, and people are incredible at doing this. And I realize, especially in the stuff that I make kind of casually, I don't do an amazing job at this. So what I'm trying to level up is actually making sure the video is going somewhere. And I was trying to communicate this thought about YouTube audience building because I had this guy next to me who had built a 200,000 subscriber channel in 6 months, and I was trying to include this really valuable takeaway for my audience in this vlog style moment. And I was like going on about it, and I realized I'd been like standing there talking to my little vlog camera for 3 minutes. Like, and I just realized people are just gonna skip ahead. It's unfortunate, but they will. And one thing you'll notice from the people that like do lifestyle communication content is they're always kind of like moving around from place to place. And so especially a guy like Casey, someone who pretty much everyone's watched a video from him, when he's like setting up his videos or doing something, he's on a skateboard. Like he's flying through the city. There's something constantly that your brain is aware might happen. Where's he going? What's coming next? And so often when I'm vlogging, I'm not very good at it. I try to like start and complete ideas in the same like video clip in the same thought. But the thing is you can start a sentence here and you can continue it over there, and people have no idea the time that took place in between. But the video is like still progressing. It's still got forward momentum. And if you can like harness that conflict, like that's the rocket fuel right there. Like that's what keeps someone interested from beginning to end. If you can become a master at like not creating drama that's like fake and phony, but if you can like set up these little conflict points to like make it interesting. So introducing this problem of like, hey, look, like my videos at the beginning were like super boring. They sucked. Like no one was watching. And then that intrigues you going like, yeah, that's a problem. Like what was the solution? Where are you gonna go with this? And then like continually setting that up. But that's like the foundation of videos that are interesting. It's like actually making sure it's going somewhere. And we forget this, but that's like the most important part beyond everything else. And so coming into the gear stuff, making sure that people actually hear what you're saying in the video is up there as like the most important thing. Because pretty much any camera you can point at yourself these days is gonna get an image that is acceptable on the internet. Like it's gonna be able to capture it. So like if you don't have good audio and if people can't hear what you're saying, you're gonna lose them. And so that's one thing that a lot of people don't invest in right away. They just try to take their DSLR, turn it towards them, turn it on and start recording video. But if you just spend like $200 in getting a lav and a recorder that you put in your pocket, that already is gonna like, the quantity of video that's out there that is below that bar is massive. So if you can like get good audio, you're already setting yourself like just in a different category.
Yeah.
What other gear stuff?
I mean, the three main things are lighting, how it like looks in the room and stuff, like the camera equipment stuff, and then the audio stuff. So you can control all three of those things yourself, and I would focus, if you're gonna invest money, I would invest equally in those three things. What people do wrong is they spend $800 or $900 on a camera, and then they spend $40 on lights and $100 on audio or something. But I think if
they don't spend any on the
or
last
they don't
two.
do any on the last two. So I'm not saying you need to spend $1,000. I'm just trying to do it like a math example. I think that they should be kind of equal.
Right.
If you can skimp on anything, it might be lighting if you can be in a controlled environment and you have a nice window light or something like that, and it's not a partially or mostly cloudy day. You can kind of get away with that. But I would not skimp on audio, and that's the biggest thing that can set your videos apart. Other than like they visually look good and the storytelling and all that stuff, having good audio. So what should you buy?
What do you use currently?
Yeah.
Well, I have.
Here's a mic.
Oh,
thank you.
So I'm using just a mic right now that I ordered off of Amazon. I can't even
Is
tell
it
you
an
what it
on-camera
is.
mic or is it a lav?
It's got a, yeah,
Cord?
I have to plug it in.
And you attach it to your shirt? So
Lapel,
like
yeah.
lavalier,
Yeah.
Okay,
lapel
perfect.
microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are best for talking head style videos often, unless you've
And
got good
I do
mic
have a
placement.
nice camera or a nice mic set up with a $1,000 microphone for like creating my courses.
Yeah.
But for the more on the fly videos, I don't have anything fancy for that.
Right.
I mean, it really depends on like the type of videos you're doing. Like you're saying, if you're doing like vlog style or something like that, like I film vlogs with this thing and it just has little built-in mics. And if you're like this far away, it's fine. If you want to step up from that for vlog style, or you're filming videos where it's like on a tripod a few feet from you, something like this,
Right.
which is a Rode Video Mic Pro. They have cheaper ones too. There's I think a Video Mic Go
Yeah, there's a
as
video
well.
micro, so
or
that
Micro. Yeah.
so these mics really excel in this distance right around here.
This direction too, like if
Yeah,
Tim
it's a
talks over
directional
there, you wouldn't hear it as well as it's a shotgun kind of.
The second it gets a little further away, that's when you're going to start to get some of that room noise that comes up. And the mics that themselves are powered, you're going to get a larger, fuller sound out of. So that's where it feels less like cheap audio.
So flip it around so you can.
Yeah, so it's got like an online, it's
Has
got
a battery
power switch.
in it, yeah.
And these mics also have an ability, because most cameras that are like meant for taking photos that have great video functions don't have good preamps in them, so it's not very good at like boosting the audio signal. So getting a mic that you can have a battery in and like boost the signal on the mic instead of in the camera, that's gonna get you a lot better audio. But Rode is kind of the like king of on-camera microphones. And they've got offerings. They've got like a $69 offering that's got no power, that's really simple, but you're just gonna get a lot fuller audio out of something like this.
Yeah, and the preamp, all the technical stuff, it's like if you plug your microphone into your camera and you hear like tss, it's because it's trying to power the audio to a level that is like so you can hear it.
Right.
And what's something like that, if the microphone's powered or your recorder is powered, it can take that hiss down and just power the microphone part so you don't hear that sound. So if your audio sounds bad, that's the issue. You need to like have a powered microphone or a powered recorder.
And then for lighting, it's like really easy to create cheap looking lighting that doesn't look good. And so often the mistake can be to try and make it look like a studio. But if you're shooting in your living room or if you're shooting in your house or something like that, it's often not best to try like emulate like studio lighting. That's often not your best option, in fact. And so like kind of the foundation for just like getting light that looks the best on camera is using the natural light that comes into your house during the day. That's gonna get you by far the best results if you don't have any investment in lighting. And so just like turning all the lights off and finding a large window and using the blinds on the window to either boost how much, using the blinds to either let less light in or more to kind of just create this large source of soft light. That's gonna be like a huge win for anything. So especially when you're doing vlogs, you'll start to realize if you've got a really bright source of light behind you and you're using audio settings on your camera, suddenly you're like black and the window's like the main thing in the frame. So you want to do it like I'm making decisions constantly if I'm vlogging of where's like the main source of light coming from and like where will it look pleasing like on my face. And then you can step that up a little bit by like you can get cheap lighting panels on Amazon under $100. You can get these LEDs and you can like set them up behind you. So if you're using the main window, so let's say if we're actually gonna shoot something and if right there was a window, I would set up my camera here and have the window off to the side. So it's creating this nice falling light off my face. And then you can like get this cheap little LED to go up behind you off camera, facing like kind of down towards your shoulders. And what that does is that hits the edge of your body with the light and like separates and adds dimension to the video. And often doing just that sets it on like an entirely different level. The mistake people make is they go and they buy like this 3-part lighting kit and
they buy like a ton of lights and they just like
point
blast
them all,
themselves, put
and it looks
themselves against
terrible.
the wall, and there's like a bunch of shadows. So it's like
it looks so bad.
Give yourself some depth, like step away from the wall a little bit.
Totally.
And like soften the lights.
Is there a best practice with dimension? Because that's been really hard to figure out, like how much how much space do you want behind you?
Yeah, so if you have a moment to be intentional with it, like deciding what you want in the frame and what you don't, and also kind of like so they're called focal lengths when you like zoom in on the lens. I don't want to get too jargony, but deciding like which focal length you're going to be at to show what's included in the frame. This is often what can like, if you're doing any type of like sitting down talking head video and if you want that kind of like blurry background look, the best way to do that is actually to zoom the lens in a little bit, because as the lens zooms in, the plane of what's in focus becomes thinner. So most cameras, they'll come with a lens that's like a general like wide to slightly focused kit lens. And if you want to get kind of a blurry background look on that, you want to go to actually about as zoomed in as you can go, get the camera far away from you, and then either put like something on your chair so you can focus the camera on where you're going to be sitting. That's the tricky part. Autofocus is getting better, but most cameras don't have it there. And then get your aperture. That's the iris, like the eyeball, how open that is. You want that as wide open as you can get it, and you want the lens as zoomed in as it can go in reason with what you have on the camera, and that will help you get kind of like this blurry background look. Or you can just buy faster prime lenses that like have really good depth of field. But then you don't want to go crazy with it, because if you like move just an inch and you're suddenly out of focus, like
so there's like there's a balance there. And for all the I'm a blogger sit down interview parts,
right.
I shoot like corner to corner in someone's house. So I will find the backdrop that I want. 5 minutes? Okay. I find the backdrop that I want in the room, and then I put the camera as far away as I can, and then I put them in the middle. And so I can get like them separated from the background because distance, but also then I use a zoom lens, like something like that or shorter. And it compresses the background so they're separated from it, and it just is more texture and less distracting. Right. And yeah.
Yeah, so I created a studio in my place so I can always make really good master classes.
Yeah.
And I hired a lighting consultant to come in because there's literally no windows. It looks like a dungeon.
Yeah.
I actually prefer to turn off everything, block everything, and start from scratch.
Okay.
When I record long things like I'm a Vlogger stuff, I would close blinds, block windows, light it permanently because we sat there for a while.
This is like in a basement, so there's literally no windows. And so I did the rookie mistake that you talked about, had my 3 lights pointed directly at me, and he said, Austin, no, you're doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
And he ended up pointing all my lights against the walls and against the ceiling.
Yeah.
And it created this natural ambiance. Now when I record my videos, it actually looks like I'm in like Gary Vaynerchuk's office.
Yeah.
And it's
He's
like
got big
huge,
windows and-
tall, ceiling windows. And it looks great because it's not even pointed at me at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's all 3 lights are pointed at one wall and at one at the
Is
ceiling.
it a white wall?
It's a white wall.
Yeah, so soft light is your friend. Like you don't want harsh light. So any really bright light source, if that's pointed at your face, it's just gonna make you look ugly. It's just like the fact, especially if you're shooting on HD, like all the pores on your face, like everything.
All the bad makeup or teeth, all that stuff.
It'll look bad.
But so the biggest thing with lighting is a bigger source makes it softer. It makes your shadows softer. So like, you can see the multiple shadows that are happening on Levi's forehead here because he has multiple lights.
Right.
If that was one light, he would have one shadow line, not like multiple. And so if you have a bunch of lights and you point them all in the same general direction because you're trying to get as much light as possible, but you make one big source on the wall or the ceiling or something, just that creates really soft, natural looking light. It can emulate a window or something.
Do you have any practical lights in that space just for like adding?
Practical meaning like a light that's already there and plugged in that you turn on.
Like a lamp or something?
Yeah, so I've like pretty much systemized it where now everything is set up. Right. The camera does not move. It's always in the same spot. I never have to adjust the settings. The ISO is always at the right spot. And then I just clip all 3 lights on one ceiling, 2 against the wall, and then actually
so you light the wall behind you then?
Yeah. And I found like having 10 feet between me and my wall because I have a very structured shelf.
Yeah.
And right beneath my chair, nobody can ever see it, but I have another light pointing straight up my backside to give me that white rim around.
Yeah.
And,
If you guys,
it looks great. Like I never would have thought that addition, but it kind of looks like the Wistia.
Yeah, Wistia's setup is like 2 lights and a light behind you pointed at a color paper backdrop.
Yeah.
I used to film my own stuff like that for a little bit. Yeah.
But like in using lamps in your shot, sometimes like even just like adding depth of the color, because like most lights give off different color. So if you have your main source and that's what like makes your skin look natural and you get your cameras set up for that, often you can like set a little lamp in the corner and it like just makes the depth of color that's happening there more interesting, and it kind of just makes it a more pleasing thing to look at. So that's like if you're trying to kick your lighting up a notch, just using all the same color temperature lights is actually just like a very generic look, and you can add in like warmth coming from the background or something cooler coming from the background that like adds dimension in the image. I think we're really tight on time, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this little guy right here is pretty much from every main so this is a Sony a6300. It's like one of the smallest autofocus cameras that shoots 4K in about this size and does it well. It's got its other things that I'm annoyed with, but most manufacturers like Canon, Panasonic, and Sony have cameras that are like in a range of your price that will work for you. And you can like research the crap out of this, but the important thing is just to get one and start, honestly. Because most of the cameras that you're able to invest in, and even just like, honestly, some of the most fun like vlogs I've made have been with my phone because I'm like filming with my proper cameras, and so I need to like capture it with a phone. And so you can like, man, the phones we have are ridiculous.
Yeah, I would start with phone. Then if you want to upgrade from that, I would go with a point and shoot. This is a Sony RX100.
Flip out screen is super helpful.
Or a Canon G7X. They have flip out screens built on lens, so it's just like one small thing you can put in your pocket and have with you all the time. Then you can upgrade to something that has its own lenses, has ways to plug in microphones, and you can go and spend all your money like I do.
So if you feel like we just said a ton of stuff, let's just like recap. Like
No, don't say recap, remember?
Oh, we're not going to recap.
Don't tell them about the last module.
The last module is coming tomorrow, so we've got so much time in between now and then.
Levi will be talking more about video tomorrow.
Make sure you've got good audio.
Yeah.
Like, remember good audio. Make stuff you want to watch. Like, make sure it's
Yeah.
interesting, and make sure that it's interesting, again, because often we make shit that's not interesting, and people just, like, don't want to watch it.
Yeah. Who has the mic right now? Oh, you do. Perfect. Go ahead. Flip it on if it's not.
I kind of had a cross-gear question because I make food videos, but right now there's just the overhead tasty style, and I want to go and do like me cooking for longer. So I've been doing Facebook Lives, and they're actually doing okay, but I'm not consistent about it. So my question is, the time that I have is so small to do, to make one video, overhead video takes forever. Then I have to shoot the still pictures for a food blog post. Then if I do a live, I'm like, how am I going to do all this for one post? So my question was, could I do like Facebook Live with my phone, like talk into it, record the audio on my phone, like plug my lavalier mic into my phone, and then have my DSLR, I have a 50 millimeter 2.8 prime lens, point
I
it
don't
at
think
me.
you can double up on the audio source for both live and recording.
Okay. I was like, maybe I could do like a YouTube
But you
style
might be able to
cooking
pull
video.
the audio off the live afterwards.
Okay.
But like as it's happening, like if you're doing it through Facebook, like Facebook will take the audio source and like no recorder will work at that time.
Okay. Because I was just trying to think if I could double up and do like.
Yeah, you definitely can. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, you could live stream from your phone and then record the overheads at the same time. And yeah, there's ways to multi-purpose.
So with that, so right now I have a natural light source coming that faces me, like the window is here, is south-facing light, and then I would be here cooking on my kitchen island, and it's sometimes enough light and sometimes not. So could I boost that with artificial, or should I just go
Yeah,
artificial?
you can.
Yeah.
What would you suggest for that? Like, where would I got another tiny slice of light coming in from the other
There's a
side.
Cowboy Studio 3-piece,
Oh,
like
yeah.
incandescent.
Got food
and just
bloggers are
get
very
some of those and
familiar.
like,
I finally threw mine away because they broke. Like,
Oh, no.
yeah, the
I've
bulbs
had them
break
for
and you
like
start
5
moving around.
years, and I finally threw
They're
it away.
cheap. I think it's like $130 at tops. And like even getting those and backing them up and putting the stop boxes on, you'll get a nice soft source.
Should
out
I
of that.
use like switch out the bulbs and use like a natural, like,
Usually they come with daylight, so
Oh, the
if it's
daylight,
sunny
okay.
outside, it'll be close enough. And
Okay.
yeah, the biggest thing with lighting is like, if you have to point it at yourself, just soften it. Like try to cut it with like a shower curtain or something cheap, like something big.
I have a
and
big like white
you
fitted
can-
sheet that I throw.
Or like a
everything
bed
else
sheet or
We're-
something. Yeah.
We're over on time.
Sorry.
Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. Hopefully you enjoyed.